my name's Maggie. I'm going to be the community expert taking you through this Transect Walk.
Hi, I'm Grace, and I will be asking the questions today. So can you tell me about the building right here?
This building's the Welcome Center, which is where a lot of administrative work is done. The One Card office is located here, where students are able to get a new One Card. The parking office is here, which is where students can handle any parking issues or buy parking permits. This is also where students and their parents, or future students and their parents, can meet when they're going on campus tours. There's also academic advisors in here to help guide future students, and that's about it.
Okay. And then this location over here is just a very open green area. Is this accessible to Wayne State students as well?
Yeah, actually, that's where they hold the Wayne State Farmers Market, which happens every Wednesday. They have local vendors from the community bring their goods here, and students are actually able to get $5 free worth of produce every week. So that's something that we do here on campus.
It's very popular with students.
Yeah, I've been a few times, and there's been lots of students there. It's really nice to see like local vendors be able to buy to our community.
Okay. And then this looks like a bookstore. Is this where students would get like their textbooks, or?
Yeah, students are able to buy, rent, and sell their textbooks here. It's also where you can buy student apparel. There's a Barnes & Nobles within. There's also a cafe that's run by Starbucks, so students are able to get food and drinks there. And that's about it.
Is this a good study location then for students, would you say?
I don't see as many students studying here. I would say there's more popular study areas available on campus.
Let's take a look at the rest of campus. Okay, so then this building right here, it looks super historic, and I don't know if you guys know, but it kind of reminds me of like Hogwarts. What do we use it for? Like, it just seems like it's right in there.
So that's probably one of our most identifiable buildings. That used to be the entirety of Wayne State, where all of the classes and everything was held. As the school has grown, we've obviously expanded to other areas. But currently, the building holds classes of like all different subjects. It's also where like our music classes are held, as well as like our dance classes. And there's also a lot of like faculty administration, like administrative offices there. There's also a planetarium at the bottom, which is pretty cool. And yeah, that's
how like navigable is Old Main for
honestly,
students, because it just looks huge and
yeah,
vast.
a lot of students get really confused and really lost in the building. It takes some time to get to know like how to get to your classes.
And then I don't know if you know the exact age of the building, but like for its age, does it ever come with like issues? Like, have they been slow updating it at all, or?
Yeah, you can definitely see some updates within the classrooms. Like there's new furniture and new technology put in, but it still maintains like the historic aspects of the building. We have seen some plumbing issues over time and a few other maintenance issues, but overall it's been pretty upright.
It looks so good. Called Science Hall. So what goes on there for the Wayne State students?
A lot of students have their science labs here, like their basic science labs, like chemistry and basic bio. But the building also has lecture halls, which you can have like a variety of different subjects held in there. One cool thing about this building is that they have like white coat vending machines, so you're able to get like your lab coats there and everything. Yeah, it has a variety of different uses, but it's pretty commonplace for students to have fun.
Okay. And then as we walk along, we keep hearing like honking and everything. It just seems like there's a lot of, I don't want to say aggressive traffic, but there's definitely, I feel like traffic that makes it so loud over here.
Yeah, that's one thing about being like within the city of Detroit, is that it's definitely a different feel than most colleges, but because it's in an urban area, so there are like a lot of cars and traffic going through that aren't directly related to Wayne State.
Okay, and then what are some like modes of like public transportation for those that live in the city?
Yeah, so for those that live here, we have a bus system which can take people like to and from places. For people specifically on campus, there's like a Wayne State bus that will take you to like the business school, the Mike Ilitch School of Business, as well as the medical campus, which are located like away from main campus. And then also in Detroit, there's a Q line that takes you from like right around News Center all the way to downtown, which is one way that students and like general public can access different areas of the city.
Okay, and then how often does like the bus and then the queue line like hit this area, like the main area of campus?
Honestly, it depends on the day and like what kind of traffic is happening, because the queue line doesn't really like, it moves with traffic, so it's not like a typical subway system which like quickly gets you from places. So it really just depends on the day and the time of year.
Okay, great. They can get lost. Luckily, it looks like there is a map right here that tells you all the main buildings and facilities, and then on this side it kind of talks about some of the buildings that we're going to pass as we walk down, and we will discuss. So over here, this black building is fairly new, would you say?
Yeah.
When did that come up?
It opened last year in the fall. They had been building it for a really long time, and it finally was finished then.
What's it called?
It's called the STEM Commons Building, which it's used for a lot of like undergraduate labs. There's some professors' offices in there, and one really like cool thing that I like about the building is that there are a lot of different study spaces. So the entire 7th floor of the building is a dedicated study space, as well as different places on each floor being available for students to study.
Okay, and then is there like for the floors, are they specific for any certain type of like class or studying?
Not as far as I know. Each floor kind of just has like whatever classes like fit with the time slot. But there's regular classrooms and labs in the building.
Okay, great. Yeah, it looks like a great new addition to campus. We are walking past this area. It looks like it's some sort of garden. Do you want to tell me about it?
Yeah, so this is actually a rain garden, which is like an economically friendly way to like prevent water buildup on campus. So it basically is able to drain the water here rather than have it build up on campus, which is super nice.
Okay, perfect. And then does like it just like help the plants like grow? Like is it also kind of?
It's just a way to like soak up moisture basically, so that like there's not an overflow of water.
Okay, and then do you know why it's on this specific location?
Honestly, I'm not too sure. I think that like this was just kind of an open space for it, and then like there might be like a slant that needs water to pile up here a lot, so that way this is able to soak it up.
Okay, and is this a house? Is somebody living here?
Honestly, I've never heard of anyone on campus that knows actually what this house is for. I've never been inside. I don't know many people that have been inside, but honestly, it's a mystery here on campus. So.
Okay, great. What is this building right here? It is right as we get off from the big W, but next to the STEM building.
Yeah, so this is another one of our science buildings. It's the biological science building to be exact. So it's kind of, it's more for graduate students than it is undergrad students. A lot of professors have their labs here, their research labs. Wayne State's one of like the 3 research institutions in Michigan, so graduate students work a lot here with like different science research projects.
Okay, great. And then is there any like bio professors? Do they host office hours there?
Yeah,
or?
a lot of the bio professors have their offices here as well. So that's the place that you can meet for office hours now that we're kind of back in person.
Okay, great. So it's a great thing for students. This is Delta Week on there representing a fraternity. Can you tell us a little bit about Greek life here on campus?
Yeah, so we do have multiple fraternities and sororities, as well as like Greek life for minority groups and professional groups, such as there's a business frat and a medical frat.
Okay, and then what sort of things do they do on campus?
So one thing that they're really active in is community service on campus. So each like sorority has different like philanthropies, and then they work to like raise awareness for those.
Okay, great. And then like the art students on campus can get involved in that as well?
Yes, yeah. There's like they hold like different community activities for like other students to get involved with.
Okay, that sounds great. And then can you tell me about this building that's behind the rock in this tree?
Yeah, so this is State Hall. It was a really common place for students to have classes, especially like undergraduate, like Gen Ed. However, the building is now under construction. In recent years, the building has had a lot of issues with being accessible for different types of students, especially students with physical disabilities. So they're working on changing it and upgrading it to make it more accessible for students.
Okay, and then how has the construction kind of like impacted? You mentioned the disabilities. How has it impacted like the students' lives?
Yeah, so like students here on campus, it's kind of more difficult now that they have like different walkways blocked off. So like right here was a way to get to both a chemistry building and science hall that we passed earlier. So as well as it blocked off different areas over here, so it makes it a little more difficult to like navigate through campus. It also is really loud, so for students living on campus, it can kind of be disruptive to like their everyday life and like studying and sleeping.
Okay. Do you know when this construction will like end so students can access? You said it was called City Hall.
Yeah, so I know it's part of like our 2030 campus master plan of like all the upgrades that are happening on campus. I'm not sure when this specific construction project is going to be completed, but I think it's going to take a few years.
Okay. And there's no classes being held here currently?
No, not currently. There's no classes. They've part of the building was blocked off last year, like in the spring, but now the entire building's blocked off and they're completely renovating the building.
Okay. That's disappointing. He has a little leaf in his mouth. One of them climbed up my brother's head. Looks to be a library and it is huge. Can you tell me about what's inside?
Yeah, so this is the undergraduate library. It's one of like two libraries or three libraries on main campus. This is really common for undergraduate students to like study in. There's 3 floors in the library, and the main idea is that the bottom, like the higher up you go, the more like quiet the study space is. There's also study rooms in the building that students can rent out, so they have like a more like private room to study.
Okay, how many floors does the library have?
There's 3 floors.
3 floors. Okay, and then does it offer any like aid to students academically?
Yeah, so one thing that's in here is the Wayne State Urban D. Reed Honors College, which is you join like when you're a freshman, you get invited. So that's one thing that's in here, and they have different resources. Also, the honors professors have their offices in here, as well as the honors dean offices in here. Other resources they have are the writing center, which will help students for free, like help research their papers, help edit their papers, and just like overall writing structure. They also have the pre-health and science advisors in here, so like if you're pre-med or pre-dental, your advisors are in this building. Last thing is that they have a lot of technology for students to use in here. They have different laptops, computers, they have some like projectors and screens you can practice like giving presentations on, and obviously they have books for you to be able to read.
Perfect. And then like for science classes, do they offer any type of like aid that is like good for students who are financially not able to like have access to that?
Yeah, so there is tutoring available. There's peer mentors that are available for different classes, and I know like for science specifically, there are some located in the STEM building as well, but I do know that they have like a learning center in here too.
Okay, and then for the peer mentors, do we have to pay for that?
No, most of any resource in here is typically free.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Main area surrounded by all these buildings, and the fountain looks great over there. But what usually goes on in this center?
Yeah, so there are like this is a common place for students to hang out. Like a lot of students will hammock and like set up blankets when the weather's warm to study in. But there are 2 big events that happen here. One is festivals, and another is called Spring Fest. One obviously happens in the fall, and the other in the spring, which are big events for all of the student organizations on campus to set up tables and try to get more students involved. It's really helpful for freshmen who don't really know how to get involved in campus, and so that's a big event. And to show like different ways that people can feel more comfortable and feel more included in their campus.
Okay, and then does the university host any like events to help like bring students together and just like get them active outside like classes?
Yeah, so that would be Festival and Spring Fest. Those are like the 2 big ones, but they also hold like events throughout the year in these spaces too, like, or they'll hold like little tables where student orgs can like pass out things. Like I know the campus activities team is out here a lot, giving out free things to students and free information. So yeah, that's like the main use of these areas.
Okay, great. And then there's this building over here that looks like it's just a bunch of windows. What is that building?
Yeah, so that's actually the Mort Harris Fitness and Recreation Center. In there is a gym there's lots of different things in there, but the main use of it is a gym for students to use. It's free with tuition. They also offer fitness classes that are really fun, and they have a rock climbing wall. So basically they have like different areas of the gym that students can get involved in. There's also like intramural sports that happen there. So like if you're not like on one of our like athletic teams, you can still be involved in sports, and there would be like different teams and stuff that will play against each other here, just of students who want to get involved.
Okay, and then how does having like the Morton Harris gym like impact student life and like college life for the students?
Yeah, so I think like one thing that can be really difficult for students is to get involved and like keep up their physical fitness while in college, because it's a really big transition, and especially being in like a major urban area, there's not as many like green spaces for you to become active in. So this is a really good way for students to maintain their health and fitness while also being free and like having like close proximity to everything else on campus.
Okay, great. And then is there like, because I know this is a very diverse group of students, is there a section where you can work out together?
Yeah, so there's a women's only section where they have like similar equipment to the rest of the gym, but it's only women that are allowed to work out in there, just to create like a safe space for them to feel comfortable to like work on their health and fitness.
Okay, cool. So it's very inclusive. Okay, so this building looks like it's very popular. I see a lot of students kind of hanging out outside of it, and then going in and out. Can you tell me what is inside this building?
Yeah, so this is the Student Center building. It's probably the most popular building on campus. It's used for multiple different things. There's different offices in there. There's the Dean of Students office, as well as Student Senate offices, and different student organizations have their like main offices in there. And then there's also a lot of like meeting rooms that students can rent out for student orgs to have like their meetings, and like this is also where a lot of like big presentations are held, because there's like what they call like the student center ballrooms, which is where like they can hold, like people can hold really big events on campus.
Okay, and then tell me about like the food situation in there. Is there food for students to just kind of relax in their classes?
Yeah, so we have multiple different food options in the student center, and then students can use like if you have a meal plan on campus. Sometimes with some of the like food vendors in here, you can use like your Warrior dollars, your $1 dollars that come with your dining plan. But we have a Starbucks, Panda Express, Taco Bell, Tender Lovin' Chicken. We have a boba place, as well as like a little convenience store market that students can go to and get like a variety of different things.
Okay, and then do you know how many floors this holds?
I believe there are 7 floors. Like they added a new addition a few years ago, so like they built onto it, so that like more resources can be held here.
Okay, and then are there any rooms on campus for like students to practice like their religion on campus?
Yeah, so they do have like religious spaces in here where students can obviously go do that.
Okay, great. And then what about resources for like mental health?
Oh yeah, our CAPS, which is our campus counseling and psychological services, is also located in here where students can go to get counseling. It does, I believe you get like a handful of sessions for free at first, but then you can pay for it.
Okay. Okay. It looks like a great building for students to interact on campus.
All right.
Okay, so this building also is really historic. So what building is this?
This is Chatsworth, which is a residence hall here on campus. It's a freshman-only residence hall. It's called the Fire Community. So only freshmen can live here, and then they have different resources available specifically like geared towards freshmen within the building.
Okay. And then what resources specifically does it offer?
They offer like peer mentors for freshmen, as well as like they have an RA on each floor, and then they hold different activities for freshmen to get engaged with.
Okay, and then are students able to study in this building as well?
There are like in each of our residence halls there are different study spaces for students who live in the building and study.
Okay, and then how many residential buildings are there on campus?
So we have Chatsworth, we have Towers Residential Suites, we have Anthony Wayne Drive Apartments, we have Ghaffari and Atchison, which are sister buildings, so they're separated, but they're like basically a part of the same community. And then we have University Tower Apartments, which is located off the main campus.
Okay, and then what other residential buildings are like exclusive to certain years of students?
Yeah, so typically the rest of our buildings, besides Chatsworth, are open to any students. We do have the Thompson Home, which is specifically for students who are in like fine performing arts. But like Ghaffari and Atchison are really popular with freshmen as well as Towers. However, with Towers, there's more of a range, so it can go anywhere from like there are seniors that live there to freshmen. Anthony Wayne Drive typically has a very limited amount of freshmen that live there, so there's only a couple, but most of the people that live there are either like upperclassmen, so juniors, seniors, or even graduate students who live there.
Okay. And then what activities do these students also get to partake in with the residential?
Yeah, so with each residence hall, they have like their own team of RAs who put on, or residential advisors who put on different activities for the residents.
Okay, great. Let's see. Okay, so I see this is called Golden Greens. It looks like it is some food options for the students in this area. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so students who have a dining plan or a meal plan here on campus have access to two dining halls. We have Golden Greens, which is known for being kind of more of like, they have broader options. So they have a lot of vegetarian, vegan, kosher options. And then there's also Towers Cafe, which is located right over there, which has like a big variety of everything, and it has like a larger range of hours. So if Golden Greens isn't open, you can most likely find hours to open.
Okay. And then are there any halal options on campus?
Yes, I believe Golden Greens for sure offers halal options, and I'm not 100% sure about hours.
Okay. And then this looks very new, this construction area, like right in the walkway of the students. When was this getting done?
Yeah, so this actually started a few days ago. They're redoing the sidewalk. I've heard a lot from students with it being like pretty frustrating, considering it's like a main walkway and a main entrance of one of our residential halls that is being blocked off. So like the State Hall project, it's kind of become inconvenient, but it's leading to improvements on campus.
Okay, cool, great. Okay, so this is emergency on it. Can you tell me what this is?
Yeah, so basically it's one of our blue lights we have here on campus. They're located kind of all over, but if you press the button, it automatically calls the WSU police, who will be here like immediately in case you're having any type of emergency situation on campus.
Okay, and then at night they glow and everything?
Yeah, so you're able to see the blue lights, you kind of know where they are, and like I said, they're located all over, so most likely if you're walking alone at night, you'll be able to find one of these pretty easily.
Okay, and then what type of situations would you have to use one of these?
Basically, like, I mean, if someone's following you, if you just kind of feel unsafe, like, those kind of situations are good to use this.
Okay, cool. Can you talk about some of the places that are attached to hostels for the apartments?
Yeah, I think we has a lot of different, like, food options for students to go to, although most of them don't line up with, like, meal plans, so it is, like, you have to purchase on your own. And also at the bottom of it, we have the Warrior Pharmacy and the Campus Health Center. So basically, the Campus Health Center is a clinic for students to be able to go to if they're having, like, a medical issue while they're on campus. Your first visit is free, and then the rest you have to pay for, but it's a really convenient location, and they're really helpful trying to feel better while you're on campus.
Okay, and then what services do they provide for like flu season, COVID season?
Yeah, so you're able to get your flu vaccine there as well as your COVID vaccine, and they offer testing for COVID as well.
Okay, cool. And then what are these robots that are right over here?
Yeah, so these are our new food delivery robots, which are run by Grubhub, which is like they offer like a like food services on campus. So basically, any of the restaurants that you see, you can order on Grubhub and then choose to have them delivered with one of these robots. So the robot will put the food in there, and then it will drive to like wherever your location is, and you just type in like a pin or have like an access to it, and it can only open to you.
Oh wow, that's super cool. And then this building over here as well. Can you talk about what this building is?
Yeah, so this is the faculty administration building. A lot of different academic advisors as well as professors hold their have their offices in there, so you can go to them for office hours or different advising meetings. One of the resources they have in there too is the Math Resource Center, which you can go to for help with any of your math classes.
And then that's free as well, or does it cost
Yep,
money?
those services